Welcome back. Well, the Potomac River has been contaminated by more than 240 million gallons of raw sewage. Boating and fishing is supposed to resume on Monday, but some locals, including a fisherman we spoke to last night, are questioning if it's safe. So we asked Mr. Dirty Jobs himself, Mike Rowe, what a cleanup like this entails. We also talked about the dire need for trades workers in the U.S. and why it's actually a matter of national security. Take a look. I grew up in a car wash, so I'm familiar with some of the people that you work with and, of course, some of the people that go through your Mike Rowe Works program. So I'm very happy to have you on the show. I want to start with what's happening in Washington. 240 million gallons of sewage have poured into the Potomac River here. You know all about dirty jobs, and the first thing I thought of when this happened was, thank God we have some people who know how to fix this from the technical level. Is this job too dirty even for someone like you?
You don't train for that. Nobody trains for that. And you know what? Honestly, when I saw the headline, I went back in season 1 of Dirty Jobs. I was on the cover of TV Guide and the caption said, Mike Rowe brings you feces from every species, right? So I was like, I made my living in this space, and I went to a lot of septic treatment plants and a lot of wastewater plants, and most of them are like 90% mechanized now. So my first thought when I saw the headline was, whoever goes in there to clean this up has never done it before and probably hasn't been trained to do it. There are just not a lot of skilled workers with that particular box checked on their curriculum vitae.
Yeah, and that seems like it's a problem because the infrastructure around the nation's capital, but also around the country, including sewer lines, which can affect the environment, tourism, the economy, are in disrepair. So we actually need people who know how to go in and fix pipes, to repair pipes, to replace them. And it seems like there's still a shortage.
Well, it's the second law of thermodynamics, right? We live in a disintegrating universe. Then the more we use our highways and our bridges and our infrastructure, out of sight, out of mind. It's an old story, but we have new problems, and it goes far beyond a sewage link. Not to make that a small thing. It's a big deal, but the bigger deal today is the shortage across all of the trades. And, people talk about the skills gap, and it's been in the news off and on for years. But for me, I've never seen anything like this. Not a week goes by where I don't get a call from some leader of some industry who's in a full-on panic regarding recruiting challenges in the trades. Infrastructure is a part of that for sure, but in many cases, it's not the existing infrastructure. It's the data center infrastructure. It's electricians right now, and welders and plumbers. Data centers have so much need for plumbing. They use so much water, and I was just in Plano, Texas, touring a data center there. I met 3 electricians, all of them under 30. All of them making north of $250,000 a year, no debt. And the craziest thing is all of them had been poached 3 times in the last 18 months. So wow. The need is huge, and companies like BlackRock and NVIDIA and Wells Fargo, they're all at the table, and we've been working together to try and make a more persuasive case for these opportunities as they exist. So too is the Pentagon, by the way.
Yeah.
This touches the industrial base. It touches our submarine manufacturing capability. It's a big deal.
So where is this disconnect coming from? Because as you just mentioned, there are huge benefits to going into the trades. No debt being, I think, the most important one, but making a really great salary, especially compared to the rest of the country. Not to mention, we have this new AI issue where tens of thousands of jobs are being taken away that are not trade jobs. So just based on who you're talking to, why is it that people don't want to go into the trades? Do they not know about it? Is it just like they don't know it's available to them? They just don't want to work as hard? What's the issue?
Part of it's awareness. Part of it is a literal skill gap. Part of it's a will gap for sure. Those things will always be with us. But mostly, I think it's 40 years of stigmas, stereotypes, myths, and misperceptions that have conspired to keep a whole generation from giving the trades an honest look. It started back when we were kids. You know, we took shop class out of high school, and then we engaged in a big social push for higher ed. More kids going to more four-year schools. That's fine. You know, we needed more engineers, more accountants, doctors, whatever. But we made that push at the expense of all these other jobs. And so we basically said to a whole generation of kids, borrow whatever it takes to go this way, because if you don't, you're going to be stuck turning a wrench.
You talked about the Pentagon. It seems like this is actually a threat to the country if we don't have people who can actually fix things, basic things, not to mention big things like aircraft carriers and planes that we need to keep us safe.
Look, I'll sound like an alarmist, but I was sitting right here 6 months ago when I got a call from the head of the National Maritime Industrial Base. That's 16,000 individual companies who collectively build and deliver 3 nuclear subs a year for the Navy, a couple Columbia and a Virginia class, right? These are nuclear-powered subs, the tip of the spear. They said, we're having a hell of a time finding skilled tradespeople. Can you help? I said, maybe. How many do you need? They said 400,000. It's 400,000, right? So, you know, those are welders, electricians, CNC operators. It's no joke. You know, this whole conversation has gone from, hey, you should look at this career, you know, maybe you'll make a good living, or maybe that employer would be grateful, to all hands on deck. This is a national security issue. And you're right about the government. You know, the ultimate solution is not going to be .gov. But this government right now, they're paying attention. And I go to the Pentagon because the Secretary of War is focused on this. He knows. So look, there's a role for the feds to play. There's a role for NVIDIA and BlackRock and Wells Fargo and Caterpillar and Ford. There's a role for news outlets. There's a role for concerned citizens and foundations. It's going to be a national effort because, you know, politics aside, the math don't lie.
That was Mike Rowe, definitely one of the smartest people we know. We talked about that and so much more. Head over to the Katie Pavlich Tonight section of the NewsNation YouTube page to watch our full conversation.
Thank you for watching. Subscribe below and download our NewsNation app right now on your phone, and you will get fact-based, unbiased news for all Americans.